Hey y'all, it's Blair. I'm first going to introduce my lovely audience. We have my mama Denise, we have Miss Deb, and we have my dad Gary. Alrighty, good evening. I first want to thank y'all for staying after work to watch my speech. Tonight I'm going to be speaking about criminal prosecution as a career. Let's get started. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, 17,250 people were reportedly murdered in the United States during the year 2016. In the same year, over 320,000 people were victims of sexual assault. Crime affects families, friends, co-workers, and even complete strangers. It can come in like a thief in the night and destroy almost every aspect of life. I've always felt very strongly about serving justice to the victim and their family. Crime is a relentless and ongoing problem that needs to be addressed, and if the younger generation has questions about this line of work or wants to better their country, this speech could enlighten them. I feel very strongly about this subject because I've seen the effects crime has on the individuals and their families. For this speech, I have gained formal information and research on criminal prosecution attorneys. In this day and age, every time we turn on the TV, we see another tragedy. Our country is in an almost constant turmoil because of crime and its effects. Criminal prosecution would be a good career choice for someone who desires to see the world become a better place, values honesty, and wants to see justice served. For my final statement for my introduction, I would like to say this. We all would like to live in a crime-free world, but unfortunately, that is not the case. In this speech, I will be discussing crime in America, the duties and responsibilities of criminal prosecution attorneys, and finally, how they value God's word and laws. Crime in America is a daunting task to delve into. With so many laws, statutes, and perpetrators, criminal prosecution is a difficult occupation to go into. These attorneys are needed in so many ways to serve justice to their communities. Whether it be a small case or a big case, the prosecution plays a vital role in the courtroom. Currently, our country seems to be the witness of violent crimes. Almost 1,300,000 violent crimes were reported for 2016 in the U.S. Also, according to the FBI, over 1 million mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers were violently assaulted in our country throughout the course of 1 year. Don't you want to see change? These attorneys can serve in upholding justice to the victims and their devastated families. They can be an aid in this rising problem by going into cases headstrong and fighting for the victims. This brings me to my next point, which is, what are criminal prosecution attorneys and what do they do? A textbook on criminal prosecution from Yale Law explains that criminal prosecution attorneys consistently emphasize the importance of a strong commitment to the justice system and into public service. These attorneys conduct research for cases, work with law enforcement, cross-examine witnesses, interview potential suspects, and strategically work their way around the courtroom, trying to convince a judge and jury of their case. However, a criminal prosecution attorney's work is not done after the case is closed. According to a law website called ACE-LSAT, they even produce sentence recommendations and plea bargains for the convicted perpetrators. For my last point, I'm going to talk about how criminal prosecution attorneys uphold God-honoring values and laws. There are so many Bible verses about law and justice, but also about honesty, which is another important characteristic in this career. Bible verses about upholding honesty include Proverbs 12:22, Proverbs 19:1, and Philippians 4:8 through 9. Proverbs 12:22 says, "Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are in his delight." Bible verses about upholding the law include Romans 3:31, John 14:21, and Romans 2:13. Romans 2:13 says, using the English Standard Version, states, "For it is not the hearers of the law who are righteous, but the doers of the law who will be justified." Some of you may think that criminal prosecution attorneys do not uphold the very important value of forgiveness, but they do. Criminal prosecution attorneys do forgive the perpetrators by seeing if they are remorseful about what they've done, and they work with them with sentencing. We are now to the conclusion of my presentation, which I'm sure y'all are so glad about. As I stated in my speech, criminal prosecution is a helpful and God-honoring occupation. As crime becomes more prevalent in today's society, the need for criminal prosecutors is increasing. This career choice is something to think and pray about. And this is a wonderful way to demonstrate God-honoring values such as honesty and upholding law and justice. I hope this speech helped you in your life's journey, and I hope you pray about this occupation. If you possess the above characteristics and God-honoring values, criminal prosecution might be your calling. Thank you for your time, and God bless.